Hey guys, thank you for watching. This week I'm excited to share another story of God's miraculous provision for Ashley and I. So let me set up the whole scenario of the story. So during this time, Ash and I were engaged and we are right in the rustle and bustle of preparing for our wedding. We're doing wedding planning nonstop and getting this thing going. Flowers, cakes, and all this stuff, venues, all these different things, and all this stuff is going. So we're planning all these things for the wedding, but the inevitable comes. Okay, so wedding's great. And even honeymoon's great, and that's gonna be another story in the future. All those things are great, and we're working all those things out. But once marriage is over, once the wedding is over, once honeymoon is done, you're back from honeymoon, where are you going to live? And by the grace of God, that question hit Ashley and I more towards midway part of our wedding plan. Because if that hit us from day one, Lord knows the stress we'd have been under. So we were working there, okay, where are we going to live? Where are we going to live? And at the time, Ashley's parents had graciously offered us, if we didn't end up finding somewhere to live, or we're still trying to figure it out, or what have you, they actually offered to allow us to stay at their place out of the kindness of their hearts. So they offered that to us. So by the grace of God, it wasn't like we're gonna be homeless. So thank God for that. We at least had great parents that were offering that to us, just in case whatever ended up happening didn't happen. So praise God for that. So that's in the back of our mind. So we know we at least have that. But in our heart of hearts, we prayed about it, and we're like, okay, we'll be willing to do that. In our heart of hearts, which I feel like it's natural for any new lads, you want your own place because you want to start setting your own foundation, your own roots for your own family. But we are more than willing to come and live with Mom and Papa Miller because they're incredible people. So we're more than willing to live with them, especially if God was calling us to do so. But our hearts was we really wanted our own place to start developing our own roots and things for our own family. And we didn't quite know where to look and what that was going to look like. But for me, at the time, I was living in Pomona with my mother. And when we were working, I'd be working out towards Orange in those type of areas where Ashley lived with her parents before we got married. So in my heart, I never really said it to anyone, not even Ashley, but in my heart of hearts, the Lord knew I really wanted to move to Orange because that's where I was going to, once we were married, that's where I was going to spend most of my time anyway in terms of for work and all those kind of things. So I really wanted to live in Orange because I really enjoyed being out there from that year or so, working and being out there and all the rustle and bustle of it. So I really wanted to move to Orange, but I never said anything. So during this time, me and Ashley tried to figure, okay, where are we going to live? And we're trying to figure this out, and it's getting to that point because at this time it's getting close. Now we're hitting December and we still don't know where we're going to live. And we're praying. We went looking around to different areas because the thing was that it wasn't like we could just pick anywhere because in our hearts we want to live in Orange. In our heart of hearts, we really want to live in Orange. But the thing was, in terms of how much money we were making, it had to be a place where the rent was reasonable. So there were a lot of places that in the perfect world, we would have really loved to live at that we could not afford. So we were looking at different places. There wasn't really anywhere in Orange, in the city of Orange at all, where we could that was really a good fit for us in terms of financially. So we're going outside of Orange and neighboring cities and different areas, and not really where we truly want to live, but we're just open nonetheless because we need somewhere to live. And I remember one day we were just searching, and it was just, we were getting nowhere. I was getting frustrated. I'm like, dude, like, there's nothing that's standing out. There's nothing that's like, well, that's the place. And we were just getting frustrated, like, dude, what are we gonna do? And nothing was making sense because we couldn't find a place where to live. And we do all the looking around, and because we found a cool place, but there's always something wrong with it. So it's like, this place is good, but it's too much money. This place is better money, but the place is not that great. Or this has all these things, but it's missing these things. So it was just this back and forth of, man, there's no perfect place. So we ended up finding a place. It wasn't in the city that we really wanted to live, but in terms of if we would have gotten it, it would have been reasonable for us for our rent and those type of things. So called them up, and online it says, oh, apartments available. But when we call them, they're like, oh, nothing's available, but they basically would get back to us when we have something available. So it's like, okay, so now we're just at a loss for words. Like, okay, what do we do? And on top of that, not only doing with our own things, we're both getting it from both sides, from both families, of giving us in the kindness of their hearts, trying to look out for us and give us wisdom, trying to help us out of like, hey, this is why you should live on your own. This is why you should do this, and just but it's a lot to deal with when you're already weighing this in your mind. So we're getting it from both sides of, you guys should be doing this, you guys should be doing that, you guys could do this, you guys could do that. So and mind you, none of it was bad advice. None of it was bad advice. Not at all. It was actually good advice. But the problem was, it wasn't God's advice. And what I mean by that is that no matter what anyone said, it wasn't working, it wasn't fitting it wasn't gelling with our spirit, so to speak. No matter what anyone said, we didn't have peace. We knew it was like, I get what they're saying, but I'm not feeling that's what the Lord's telling us to do. So we're really struggling. Okay, what do we do? This place is not making it very clear if they have a place or not. We don't even know. It's December now. And mind you, and let alone getting close to Christmas time, we still don't have a place to live. By the grace of God, we still have Mom and Dad for backup. Mom and Papa Miller for backup, if in case we don't find a place. But in our heart of hearts, we really want our own place to start, like I said before, starting our own family and getting things going for us in our first year of marriage. So, and on top of that, of course, family, what are you going to do? And you should do this and this and this. It's just a lot to deal with at once. And on top of that, you're still planning for the wedding. So there's so much going on. So, but kept praying. And one person in particular was my mother. And my mom, but I love her so much because she gave so much for my brothers and I to have what we have now, and just to live and to be able to just to push us forward so we could live out our dreams and live our lives and to set us up to succeed. And during this time, she was really like, hey, Jacob, like, where are you going to live? So, and she's a completely pure mother's heart of, Jacob, where are you going to live? Where are you going to live? And it was hard for me because I didn't have an answer for her. But in my spirit, in my heart of hearts, I felt from the Lord, like, and I kept telling her, and I'll never forget the words I always told her. I was like, Mom, God's going to provide. I always kept telling her, Mom's going to provide. Mom, God's going to provide. Mom, God's going to provide it. Where are you going to live, Jacob? I'm like, Mom, God's going to provide. I know He will. I don't know right now, but I know God's going to provide. And because she was really concerned for me. And I asked, like, where are you guys going to live? She was very concerned. But I kept telling her, and I just felt in my heart, Mom, God is going to provide. So, picture this. So, Christmas Day comes. And this is the first time both of our families are together for Christmas. And so we went to church, and we're just to give you the framework, we're at dinner. We're Mama Miller made a beautiful Christmas dinner. We're all together, sharing stories, embarrassing stories about both Ashley and I, putting us on the spot and putting us on Front Street, making us look foolish because of some of the embarrassing stories that they were saying. And we're all just having a great time. Dinner was great. It was beautiful. We're all laughing, having an awesome time together. And so dinner was done, and we're just sitting around. We're all sitting in the living room. We're just talking and stuff like that. And mind you, Mom not too long ago had asked me, hey, Jake, what are you going to do? Where are you guys going to live? I told her, God's going to provide. So here's the cool part. So we've been praying, and we just knew God was going to provide. So to make a long story short, everyone goes. So then a couple of our family members go into the kitchen, right? They go into the kitchen. And me and Ash are just, and then next my mom goes in the kitchen. At first I'm like, okay, Ash's family going to the kitchen talking, I guess that makes sense. But then my mom going into the kitchen, what's that all about? That makes no sense. Why is Mom going into the kitchen talking with him? So, and Ash and I are just sitting on the couch, just clueless, like, okay, cool, all right, like, what's going on? Like, we're just completely lost for words, and I'm getting concerned now because no one's saying anything. So I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get freaked out, like, what happened? Because no one's saying anything. So then everyone's in cahoots in the kitchen talking, and Ashley just sitting there like, and I'm just like bracing myself. I'm all nervous and butterflies in my stomach. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So everyone comes on in, like, Jacob and Ashley sit down or whatever, and made it very, 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 very dramatic. So we're freaking out. I'm like, okay, and I'm just like, just like, okay, like I'm just very, just like on edge because I have no idea what they're gonna say. So we all sit down, and some have tears in their eyes and emotional, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? So to make a long story short, and I'll never forget it, they share with us that there was an apartment available through family. there was an apartment available to us if we wanted it. And mind you, just to give a little backstory to that, they had some of our families had actually asked about this place before, like, oh, what about this place? And shout out to you, thank you for that. And they went and, hey, is this place available? And the person's like, oh, we'll get back to you, or whatever. I don't fully remember the complete details of it, but it was along the lines of, they kind of reached out, like, hey, what about this place? Oh, there's that place there. What about this apartment? And they reached out, and as fate would have it, which wasn't a coincidence at all, as the Lord would have it, Christmas Day, they communicate back and say, hey, if Ashley and Jacob want it, it's available to them. This apartment is available to them. And when they shared that, I can't explain to you the feeling that we had, the peace that hit the room. That it was like as if it's like we touched heaven in that moment. The peace that fell upon that room, because Ashley and I knew God had been telling us, I got you guys. He gave us the confidence and peace that He was going to look out for us. And all that time leading up to that moment, I kept telling my mom, and I know this. And even if you could ask her today, she'd say, all right, son, this is a little, you're crazy. You're crazy. You need to figure out, what are you going to do? And I know she thought I was crazy. I knew in my heart what God was telling me. Hold on. I'm going to provide. And it was beautiful, because it's exactly what He did. On Christmas Day, God gave us not only the most beautiful gift, but He validated our faith. He validated our words that we're telling people that God has us. Because we knew. He validated to everyone in that room, whether they realize it to this day or not, that what I was telling them was accurate, was me saying that. Because on Christmas Day that night, we received a Christmas miracle of having a place to live. Nothing can compare to the gift like that. And God has blown our minds since then in so many incredible ways. But in that very moment in our life, and even our relationship together, and even in our engagement together, close. Now, mind you, next year, early the following year, we would get married. So the pressure was on to find the place. But the beautiful thing about God, He validated our words. And the beautiful thing for me in my heart towards my mother was, I was able to show her, hey, Mom, God can do this for you too. Hey, Mom, God hears us. He speaks to us. And He wants to show Himself to us faithful, because He is faithful. And it was just one of those, it was such a blessing thing. It was truly such a blessing for me to be able to say, yeah, Mom. And not say, oh yeah, I told you so, I was right. It had nothing to do with any of that. I was so humbled by God. See, Mom, this is the God that we serve. And my mom's a Christian, mind you. My mom's a Christian, so it's not like she's not a believer or anything like that. But it's just to strengthen her faith and more. Like, hey, He does these things. Hey, Mom, what God was telling me was true. So there's so many stories that Ashley and I have of God just performing miraculous miracles for us. But I tell you this, it is always worth it to trust what God says. Because in the end, regardless of what man says, regardless of what your own conscience, your own heart, your own nerves, your own fears tell you, God never fails. And when we had that Christmas miracle, when the deadline was there, when it was so close, and He could have given it to us in January or whatever, but God is so beautiful. Christmas night, He would bless Ashley and I with the perfect gift that would constitute in the future our beautiful marriage that we have now together. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.